So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this Co-Managers Inner Circle. My name is Jonathan, and once again, welcome to our Thursday night, which more recently has been quite nice because we get some amazing people on a Thursday night, and also just means that you're not putting up with me and a ukulele, which is which is not as interesting as some amazing people. And tonight's absolutely no different. So, how's your week been? You're about to. Hopefully the kids have broken up now for school. What plans have you got for your amazing care homes, and how's it going? I can't believe recently I got a notification on Facebook, and the notification was about what I was pushing out and what we as a collective group were pushing out a year ago. And I just can't believe, once again, that a year has gone by. And this time last year, we were literally up to our necks in it. And it was a very, very frightening time. And I know we hadn't had COVID in our building at that moment in time. And of course, we did get 2 cases. One survived, and regrettably, the other one didn't. But luckily, we kept it in those 2 rooms. And the chap who died, he bounced hospital and came back, and they were tough days. I think the biggest thing I can recall, I think we can all recall, is just knowing how stomach churning it was. We had no swab, no testing regime. We had no way of knowing. We were just literally, it was you saw ghosts of COVID around every single wall and door and bed. And they were tough times, and of course the challenge has changed and morphed, and even now, it is still a significant challenge. But once again, all positive stuff. Welcome to the Co-Managers Inner Circle. For those of you thinking, who the hell is this fellow with a waistcoat on and a ukulele sitting here? This group was formed 4 years ago now. Actually, I can't believe it. And to support care managers like you and I. I'm a care manager over 2 homes, and it's my honor, huge honor and privilege to look after people who are mainly end of life. And it's a huge thing we do. But enough of that. And just to remind you, if you watch on Catch Up, please #Catch Up. And it's always nice to know where you're watching Catch Up. Are you on your commute? Are you in the bath in the morning? It's just interesting to know, where do people actually catch up with the Care Managers Inner Circle. But enough of that. I've got an amazing person, Anoushka Farouk, and what an amazing lady she is. And I just thought I had to bring her on here this evening, just to have a really informal chat with her. But she's absolutely lovely. And here she is. There she is. Anoushka, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for that introduction. Very humbled. Thank you so much.
And I know you're a little bit nervous because I know you got your 8-year-old. We love kids in webinars. I think our whole lives, our whole culture now is completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, if you hear any yells, he's upstairs playing Fortnite. That's just what happens of an evening. Tried to ask him to keep it down, but we'll see.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, great. It just adds to. I'm sure it'd be far more entertaining than possibly us. But good to see you. And is he your only one? Is he your only child?
Yeah,
or you've got...
he's my only one. My one and only.
Yeah, great. No, fabulous. Well, look, lovely to see you. And I think we met. I think it was about 2 years ago, actually.
It was.
Well, I mean, at the NEC Care Show, wasn't it?
That's right. That was our regular playground. Certainly, fond memories of those shows. It seems like a distant memory now, doesn't it? But that's where we met. I think you had your son along that day. He was.
That's right, Bertie.
That's right. Yeah.
And he's doing great stuff. I can't believe. I mean, he's 19, nearly 20, actually. I can't believe I've got 20. Well, I've got 20, nearly 23-year-old. I don't know what happened there. And then Kitty was 16. But yeah, Bertie. So I brought Bertie along, and we ended up. One of our speakers within about 2 days of the care show. So the Care Managers Inner Circle, for those who don't know, the Care Managers Inner Circle annual conference was saved by Michael Corbett, who runs the care show, always very much part of the care show. And we on the first year, I think year 4, year 3, we decided to have an annual conference. I thought, all these amazing care managers out there, wouldn't it be great to bring them along to an annual? We could actually see people in the flesh. And we had it in Southport on year one, which was so 2017, I think 2018 actually. And it was a great success. And then the next year we looked into pricing of venues, and it was an absolute fortune. So we couldn't do it. And I wanted it in Birmingham so that everyone across the UK could come. And that seemed fair. And I put out a heartfelt message to everyone just saying, look, we can't do it. Sorry, the cost of venues. And Michael reached out and he goes, look, mate, I think we can help. So since then, he gave us 5 speaker slots and allowed the care managers in the circle to come along. So he's a great fan. He's a great friend of the inner circle. And that's where we met. And I remember you were speaking at the time. I know you were heavily involved in the care badge, weren't you? And that was fabulous.
Yeah, that was that whole project has a special place in my heart, really. The whole the way that came together. I think that was, for me, that was the starting point for really understanding the care sector at a grassroots level, seeing how that whole campaign brought the community together. It was such an amazing experience. I'm really so privileged to have been part of that.
Great, I know, and it was. I mean, it's a great brand, and I think what you did then, I appreciate the huge efforts involved. Was brilliant. So good on you. And then of course that morphed then into further. I mean, that was just the start, wasn't it, of trying to formally recognise social care as not just the poor relations of the NHS, but something really in itself. That it is a unique organisation with its own challenges, its own resource challenges, and therefore having its own sort of brand like the care badge was brilliant. And we all took to it and got some as well for our staff. So thank you again from all of us, what you did.
Oh, it was an amazing campaign. I mean, actually, just this year gone by, and all that the care managers have been going through in terms of the immense pressure during COVID times, and the fact that we've all stood outside our doors and clapped for the NHS and care, seeing both the blue badge and the green badge out there, and people recognising that was a huge moment. It just felt like, as you say, it's no longer the poorer cousin of the NHS. It's recognised as shoulder to shoulder as an organisation in its own right, which is amazing. Which is exactly, what the whole purpose of that campaign was about, was to bring pride to the people that work in the sector for the amazing work they do. So definitely steps forward, massive steps forwards. If you look at the last couple of years and how the reputation of care has changed and continuing to do so, not just from the care badge campaign, but all the great work that's being done at the moment and over the past couple of years from top to bottom. It's just it's created an absolute brand. A proper
good for you. And I know you moved on now. So then you then tell us, because you then set up. You jumped into the big wide world of entrepreneurship and starting your own business. So talk us through that, because that's an incredible. That's a bigger challenge.
It's a completely different direction, I suppose it would appear. And when I first came onto the scene, showing a very different side of me, I think a lot of my sort of care buddies were wondering, what's she up to? What's she doing now? But really, I think the care badge was the beginning for me, was the beginning of realising that what I got so much joy from was that sense of community that came out of the care badge. So I came into the care sector through marketing, through tech and marketing, what my skill set was, but I stayed for the sector. So, and I realised that actually my skill set was not particularly about marketing and tech. It's not what made my heart sing. What made my heart sing was the people in the care sector. I absolutely loved the sense of community, and then the whole care badge campaign, seeing it with my own eyes, delivering those checks was just amazing. Seeing the work that was being done with the money that was going back into the sector, that's when I realised that I got joy from making people feel valued. People allowing people to feel their value. And so, last year I retrained as a therapist and coach to do just that. And I think the market for therapy and coaching and helping people with their mental health and well-being and emotional well-being, the first market that I wanted to tap into really was the care market, because one, because I love the care sector so much, but really because if anyone needs the support at the during that time, if anyone needed it the most, it would be the frontline staff. I mean, who's caring for our carers was the point. We can't pour from an empty cup, and that was my point. Our care managers are they've got immense pressure to make sure that everyone's well, to make sure that everyone is coping under the pressures of COVID, make sure that the clients are being looked after, but who's looking after the care managers? And so I put together programs, I developed programs for care teams, with care teams and the way they work in mind, because for that reason, just because it was the best time to be able to put back or to give back to the care sector in a slightly different guise.
Great. And how's it going? Because I mean, I see your posts, and your posts are inspirational, and and I know it's not all about memes and putting stuff out there. It's so how's it going? How are your clients going? And
it's going really well. Thank you for asking. I think the biggest challenge is, I was taking, to kind of speak for myself, but I was taking a big step out of my comfort zone. And actually, you hear it all the time. Stepping out of your comfort zone is actually the most powerful thing you can ever do. It's the most liberating thing you can ever do. It's the scariest thing you can ever do. But when you do branch out, you discover different talents, different your true potential, I guess. I think that's what I realized, that's what I wanted to do. When I realized that my time was up in the last role and that I was going to move on, I needed to figure out what I wanted to do. I did have another brief stint back into the same sort of a role, and I loved it there as well. I loved the people, but I didn't love the marketing anymore. And it wasn't the job that I was in. It was kind of the fact that I thought, well, no, actually, I want to be doing something different. And it was that whole stepping out into the big wide world of big unknown world of therapy, retraining with the amazing Marissa Peer, and understanding that a lot of what goes on inside, what stops us from being all that we can be, is actually in between our ears. It's actually the belief, and if we can look at those beliefs and reprogram them, we can do and be whatever we want. And the point about value and value for care managers is that for people like myself, and I think care managers have this quality, which is wanting to give and wanting to help people, that kind of that the empath, basically. If you are an empath, you tend to give and give and give, and you sometimes forget to fill up your cup. And that can sometimes take its toll. And it did for me way back when I discovered that I was an empath. I was very, very good at giving, but not very good at caring for myself. So during this time, I was learning to care for myself, and I realized there are a whole bunch of people just like me that need to learn to self-care, that need to learn to give themselves a pat on the back, or to give themselves the time, the space to be their best selves, because often we're just doing the next thing. We're so busy, particularly care managers. You've got to do so much in a day. And I know that because my mum was a care manager, watched how busy she was on a daily basis, constantly stressed, overwhelmed, burnt out. And I now look back and think, my poor mum, she probably didn't, she's a single mum because she was a widow. So she didn't have anyone saying, do you know what, you need to take a break.
Excuse me.
That's the reason that has inspired me to kind of help the people that help other people. And also leading, as you will know, to lead a team, you've got to appear to be really, really strong and on it all the time. But sometimes we hide behind a mask of, that leadership role.
Invincibility. It's
and the imposter syndrome is there. It's lurking away in the background. That self-doubt, that, oh God, should I really be here? Can I do this again today? That confidence that
we all suffer that.
Every
single one of us suffers that. And I think if you don't admit it, then you're fibbing yourself. So, and for all those care managers out there, who are in jobs or in new roles, or you're thinking about, you've just taken on registered manager's appointment, you really can do it. But we all suffer imposter syndrome. So be reassured by that.
Definitely be reassured, and just know that you're valued and you're appreciated more than you know. And I think that's the message really that I have for every single one of you.
Yeah, good for you. I know you've written a book.
Yeah, so the book was.
You've been a busy bee.
I've been really busy. This past year has been an amazing step out of my comfort zone. I never thought I'd write a book. I'll do half the things that I've done this year, but the book was really therapeutic for me. That was the beginning of my own kind of therapy journey, and the book is about my my alcoholism and my recovery. So I'm actually coming up to 13 years sober. So prior to that, I was an active alcoholic, and I really struggled with self-esteem, with self-worth. I was unemployable. I really had to. After I got into recovery, I then became employable and then started my marketing career. But I'd lost out on a few years of feeling really, really down on myself. So when I was coming up to my 12th birthday in recovery, my 12th year of sobriety, and I started writing 12 Butterflies. And the reason it was called 12 Butterflies is because at that time I was also having a bit of a spiritual awakening. So part of the coaching that I do is spiritually based. Butterflies are a sign, are a symbol of transformation, and it's also known as an angel sign. So I kept seeing butterflies all around me. Every time I was in this place, I was kind of tapping into my spiritual intuition. I was always seeing butterflies, hence the reason for the name of the book. But the book is about my recovery, but also about for anyone that needs a bit of hope. It's the kind of book that basically says, well, if she can do it, maybe I can. And that was the purpose of it. I was never going to share it, but I thought if it could help just one person, but maybe it's worth publishing.
But good for you. And, I mean, I didn't realize that. And that's so kind of you and brave of you, just to share that. And as I mentioned the other day, myself and my wife, we're now on year 3. It's year 3. It's a 3rd year anniversary in July of giving up alcohol. And that is so, and it's a big, that to me is more significant than our own anniversary. It's just huge. Our lives, we were reborn then. We drank every night, and yet we were fully high functioning. No one would have ever known, and it was just our thing, and every night, and then next morning you just feeling this terrible remorse. And we just had to, on one day, Joe and I decided that's it. We couldn't do the let's just drink on a school night or not on a school night, because it was every single night. There's a reason to drink every single night, and that was the only way. And we haven't looked back. It's been great. And people, and when you have, I mean, you have the same conversations that we have. People struggle with our non-drinking more than we struggle with it. It's not an issue to us, but to other people, they really struggle with it because they're probably self-reflecting on their own alcohol consumption, and we've done something different. And we're never judgmental. If people drink, that's absolutely fine. We drank for many years, so it's just not an issue. But no, it's that. Well, are we able to see this book, or are you able to post a link? Send me the link over, because I'm really keen to.
Yes, it's on Amazon. You can just Google 12 Butterflies and my name, and it will come up. But I'll send the link as well, so you can pop it in.
Yeah, no, that's lovely, because it does help people. I know we read 2 books, and they were so powerful. We thought, oh, this is it. So it was about us. Literally, reading these books. It was our journey, and it just helped us the whole way. Well, a huge thanks, Anoushka, and lovely to see you. And your son upstairs has been an absolute dream.
I haven't heard any of that, because I've heard all of it. I don't know whether you've heard it, but he hasn't turned the volume down for us, I'm afraid. So hopefully you'll be able to dub that out.
Well, look, lovely to see you once again. And so send us that link, and also, if you can, send us your website as well, because there's people out there who need help, and if you can help someone, then that's great. That's your duty to help them. So that's fab. Well, look, we're going to say say goodnight. But thank you again. And I'm absolutely chuffed you came on this evening.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute privilege.
And to everyone else tonight, thank you for joining myself and Anoushka. So tonight we spoke about the care badge, but more importantly about Anoushka's own journey into coaching, spiritualism, and sobriety. So once again, huge thanks, and we'll see you very soon. Cheers, Anoushka. All right, take care. Bye.